am trying to make it smooth. I'm Miss Lisa, and I'm here at the Fayette County Public Library, and this is Science Isn't Scary. Today we're going to be talking about physical versus chemical changes. As I talked about last week, we know that everything in this world is made of matter, and matter can never be destroyed and it can't be created. Everything that's here has always been here, but sometimes it can change form. And scientists divide the two different categories of matter when they change into two different categories. We have physical changes and we have chemical changes. So today we're going to experiment with each of those just a little bit. Now you saw me sanding this wood. It is very bumpy. It's got little splinters all over it. One of the ways that we know a physical change has taken place is that the texture has changed. So when you sand the wood and you get rid of all those little splinters, and I probably don't have a pile of wood carvings here, but if there was wood shavings on the ground, it's still wood. We know that this is a physical change, not a chemical change. All we've done is change the texture, okay? If I take this piece of paper and just tear it up, I have changed its shape a little bit, haven't I? But it's still paper. The chemicals have not changed. It is still the same substance, so that is a physical change. What if I take this cup of water, okay, and I add a little bit of food coloring into it? I'm changing it, and all I'm doing is changing its color. It is still water. There's no chemical change. It's just a physical change. This can is a piece of matter, okay? And it has a particular shape. Can we change it? Oh, look what I did. I changed its shape. I bent it, okay? That's just a physical change. There's been no chemical reaction. It has just changed its shape. Finally, I have this ice cube, and it's been sitting in this bowl only for about 5 or 10 minutes, and it's already, look at that, it's already starting to melt. So there's been a change. And if I hold this in my hand and squeeze it, look at the water dripping off of there, okay? We are changing the ice cube, but has it changed chemical properties? No, it has not. So changing its temperature, changing its shape, changing its texture, changing its color, these are all just ways that we know that a physical change has occurred. Now, let's talk about chemical changes. When we have a chemical change, one of the best indicators is that there are bubbles. And so today we're going to experiment a little bit with some liquids that I have here on my tray. The first three are all just plain white liquids. We've got some water, some vinegar, some rubbing alcohol, and then I have some lemon juice. So we are going to put some baking soda into each one of these to see if we can make a chemical change. Now we'll know there's been a chemical change if there is bubbles. So let's start by dumping a little bit into the water. Will there be bubbles in the water? Can you make a guess? All right, let's see if you're right. Okay. There were a few little bubbles to begin with when it first went in, but not the big bubbles that you might expect out of a chemical change. So nothing really exciting happened there at all. All right, let's try our vinegar. I'm going to put a little baking soda in there. Can you guess, boys and girls, what's going to happen? Do you hear that, boys and girls? Look at those bubbles. It's almost coming out of the bowl. Okay, what a cool chemical change. Those two ingredients reacted so well together that there's bubbles and it continues to bubble. So we know that is a chemical change. This is a great thing for you to do at home. Get your mom to give you some of these liquids at home and try putting baking soda in them and see what happens. All right, what about the rubbing alcohol? Let me get just a little bit here. Nothing happened. That's even less than what happened when it went in the water. All right, nothing happened. So no chemical change happened there. That's still just a physical change because we made it very cloudy now. We sort of changed its color. What about lemon juice? Boys and girls, can you make a guess? Let's see what happens when we put just a little in. See it bubbling and listen to it? Isn't that cool? So we had two liquids that had just a chemical change and two that had a physical change. This one's still even bubbling. Okay, those two ingredients really react with each other to create the formation of bubbles, which is a sign of a chemical change. Now, this last little experiment I want to show you is only for an adult to do, okay? It uses acetone, which is a very potent chemical that you don't want to get your hands in very much. Make sure that if you do this, mom or dad are watching you, okay? You also need a styrofoam cup. Do you think I could melt the styrofoam cup by putting it in the water? Or the rubbing alcohol, the lemon juice, or what was this, the vinegar? It wouldn't melt, would it, boys and girls? I mean, I could stick it in there, and there's going to be absolutely no change to any of those. But when we use this liquid, you are going to see a change. And you don't need very much of it. I'm going to pour it into this pan, just enough to cover the bottom. And let's see if I can melt this styrofoam cup. You ready to watch for the bubbles? Do you hear it, boys and girls? Do you see the bubbles along the edge? Now I am putting some pressure on this cup. But as it goes down into that acetone, look at it. The cup is almost gone. We are creating a chemical change here. This styrofoam is no longer going to be a styrofoam cup. Look at it. It's almost all gone. Give it another second. The cup is gone. And that's all that's left of the styrofoam. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, I think it's awesome. All right, boys and girls, science isn't scary. Chemical changes and physical changes are fun to play around with. Just please make sure that you have an adult nearby so that they can watch you. All right, boys and girls, I hope to see you again next Tuesday. This has been an episode of Science Isn't Scary.